The things that caused Yoshke, Jesus Yimach Shemo V'Zichro, to fail and fail miserably. And anyone that wants to know more and more details can watch my lectures about that topic that I've had over the years, the Kabbalistic secrets behind Jesus, or did Jesus hate his rabbi, or different lectures that I've made about this topic over the years. One of the main things that happened with Jesus was the fact that even though he had a rabbi, and even though his rabbi was great, Yeshua ben Perachia was one of the Zugot. This is even before the generation of Rabbi Akiva. Yeshua ben Perachia was one of the great sages of Am Yisrael, but at the same token, Jesus didn't view him that way. He not only treated him as if he is equal to him, but he actually treated him as if he's less than him, where Jesus was looking at the woman that was running the inn that they were staying in, and he thought that she was ugly, and he told his rabbi, "Oh yeah, she's ugly," thinking that the rabbi is also looking at the girl because he has a dirty mind and he's looking at women inappropriately. He thinks that his rabbi is looking at the women inappropriately also. This is unfortunately very common, where people think that their rabbis think the same thing like they do. Because they have dirty minds, they think that since the rabbi is a human being, he probably also has a dirty mind. He probably also thinks like me. If he thinks like you, he's not a rabbi. Needless to say, he's not your rabbi. And if he doesn't think like you, why do you put thoughts in his head? Why do you assume that he's thinking like you? Why do you assume that he even has any concept of these types of thoughts? Because if he is a real Talmid Chacham, if he is somebody that's working on himself on a regular basis, these things don't go into their minds. And that's one of the things that Jesus failed at miserably, where he simply saw his rabbi as an equal. Or perhaps not equal 100%, but close, not too far away. You know, those types of people say, well, yeah, he's smarter than me. He knows more information than me. But at the end of the day, he still puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like me. Meaning, in so many words, we're the same thing. It's just that he read a few more books than me. So, in the same, so here, you have a major failure. The other thing is that he disagreed with his rabbi. And this is even more common, even for those people that say that their rabbis are greater than them. And even if they're not talking about their rabbis, they're talking about the great sages, the great chachamim of Am Yisrael, whether it be the Rav Ovadias, or the Stiplers, or Rav Yashiv, or Rabbi Akiva, or Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It doesn't make a difference who it is. The Rambam. People have the audacity to disagree with chachamim as if, what's the difference? What's the difference between me disagreeing with the police officer that stopped me saying that I'm speeding when I wasn't, and Rabbi Akiva that says that I'm doing wrong and I don't think I am? In essence, what they're doing is they're minimizing the greatness of the Chachamim that dedicated their life to the Torah, that literally understand things that are beyond human comprehension. And I could just, tell you guys, and I've told you guys in the past, the more you learn Torah, the more frustrated you get by the mentality of the ignoramuses of the world, of how they view Chachamim. Because what ends up happening is you learn more Torah, you learn more complicated issues, and what ends up happening, you start realizing, wait, to me, I'm learning this, and it's extremely complicated, extremely difficult. I'm learning about the chatzerot, the different aspects of Masechet Yevamot, or different parts of the Torah, Tum'ah and Ta'ara, and to me it's extremely difficult to even understand what's being written here. Yet these Gdolim, to them, it's like they know it like it's the back of their hand. They wrote entire volumes of books about this. They have Paskin Halacha over there, to the extent where they know this so well and explain it so well. And to me, it's difficult and I'm learning it. Yet the person that's criticizing them doesn't even know any part of it, nothing. You ask him, okay, listen, if you have a chatzer and there's a opening on both sides, and it's thin, and you want to make it a place where people can go to, but it's not a public, but at the same token, it's not private either. What can you do? And they're going to look to you like, huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Why is it open on both ends? Why can't you just go outside? What can I put? Well, if I put a stick at the end and I connect it to the opening, is that going to change anything? And I'm going to tell you, no, other than the fact that you just wasted a few minutes putting a stick there, nothing's going to happen. Yes, exactly. You have no idea what's being talked about. You have no idea what's being talked about here. Why? Because you don't know halacha, you don't know Torah, you don't know anything, but yet you feel you have the ability to disagree with Chachamim. Why? Because perhaps you watched a few videos online, maybe even read a few books, you know a few stories from the Torah that were pretty much literal, that any 5-year-old could know the same thing, and therefore you think you're in the same level of knowledge as the Chachamim. The world of the difference between an average person, even if he learned Torah in yeshiva for 20 years, and Gedolei Israel, is wider than the ocean. But unfortunately, the vast majority of people do not understand this, and Jesus was one of them. And therefore, he felt that he can disagree with his rabbi. He could disagree with his rabbi. Well, listen, the rabbi said this. I don't have to agree. That's the first failure. If you think that there is any room for you to disagree with your rabbi, he is no longer your rabbi. He's no longer your rabbi. Why? Because the Gemara tells us you have to have fear of the rabbi like you fear God. Not that the rabbi is God, but rather because if he is your rabbi, that means he's a Talmid Chacham, that means he's a Torah scholar, he knows what he's doing, that means he's giving you the words of God. He's telling you exactly what God said in A, B, C, in every aspect of your life. And if you don't believe that he's giving you the words of God, then you don't have a rabbi. So the moment a person thinks that they have room to disagree with their rabbi, that's when all hell breaks loose. That's when everything fails. And unfortunately, many times people fail in this particular aspect and they lose. They lose in such a big way that they'll never be able to replace it. They're simply never going to be able to replace it due to the shame, due to the embarrassment, and also due to the ignorance. So the first thing that the Tzeitil Katan is telling us here is that you have to actually have somebody in your life that is going to help you do tshuva. Because you cannot do it on your own. You can't do it on your own.